Have you ever felt lost, as if your mind was constantly racing, yet your heart was completely still? What if there was one simple truth, spoken thousands of years ago, that could calm your storm, bring peace to your chaos, and completely transform your life? Today, we uncover a teaching from the Buddha that many overlook, yet it holds the power to shift the way you see everything. Welcome to the channel. Let's begin with a moment of reflection. Close your eyes for just 5 seconds. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly. You're not just breathing, you're arriving. You're arriving into the present moment. The one teaching we're about to explore is so simple, so gentle, yet so life-altering that once understood, it cannot be unseen. It is not a ritual. It's not about belief. It's an experience, one that lives inside you. This teaching is the heart of all the Buddha ever spoke. It is called mindfulness. But mindfulness is not just being aware of your breath. It's something far deeper. It is the art of truly being, without chasing, without resisting, without judging. In this series, we'll walk together through its meaning, its practice, and most importantly, its power. And once you understand it, your entire life will begin to shift. Let's begin. Mindfulness, Sati in Pali, is not something to be learned. It is something to be remembered. The Buddha never said you need to become someone new. Instead, he whispered gently across time, "Wake up. You are already enough." Mindfulness is remembering to come back to this moment, back to what is real. It is knowing when your mind drifts into fear or anger or distraction, and softly calling it home, without force, without blame, just awareness. The Buddha once said, "Nothing can harm you as much as your own thoughts unguarded." Think about that. Your own thoughts can imprison you, or they can liberate you. And mindfulness is the key that unlocks the door. But in our modern lives, we are rarely here. We are always elsewhere, thinking about tomorrow's tasks, yesterday's regrets, comparing, rushing. We live like guests who forgot they're at home. The teaching of mindfulness brings us back to where life is actually happening, now. Not in the past, not in the future, but right here. This breath, this sound, this sensation. And when you return to now, you begin to notice something miraculous. This moment is complete. You don't need to fix it. Just witness it. And that witnessing begins to change you from the inside out. Let's go deeper. When the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, he wasn't trying to escape life. He was trying to see it clearly. And mindfulness was the lens through which that clarity emerged. To be mindful doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you learn to observe it. You step out of the storm even as it rages. You say, "Ah, there is anger. Ah, there is sadness." And instead of becoming those feelings, you simply watch them arise and pass away. Like clouds moving across the sky, all experiences come and go. The mindful mind does not hold on to the cloud. It watches, it breathes, it lets go. This is not easy, but it is profoundly freeing. The Buddha taught, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. If your thoughts are chaotic, your world feels chaotic. But when your mind becomes still, your life begins to reflect that stillness. You don't need to meditate for hours. You can begin with one breath, one step, one moment of watching. Try it now. Inhale slowly. Notice the air. Exhale gently. Notice the release. You're here, that's the practice. Mindfulness is not something reserved for monks or temples. It belongs to everyone, especially you. It's in how you sip your tea, how you listen to your child, how you walk to work, how you speak to yourself when no one else is around. You may think you don't have time to be mindful, but mindfulness actually gives you more time, not by adding hours, but by making each moment fuller, deeper, more alive. When we live without mindfulness, we are like sleepwalkers, going through the motions, never truly present. But with mindfulness, we wake up. You'll begin to hear the birds again. You'll see the colors in the sky. You'll feel the food as you chew. And yes, you'll feel your pain more clearly too. But strangely, it will no longer overpower you. The Buddha knew that mindfulness was the first step toward liberation, freedom not just from suffering, but from unconscious living. And here's the miracle. The more mindful you are, the more you begin to see things as they really are. And what you'll discover is beautiful. So how do we practice mindfulness? Start with your breath. It's always with you. It doesn't demand effort. It only requires attention. Take a few moments each day to sit. You don't need candles or chants. Just sit and breathe. Watch your mind like you would watch a puppy, gently, kindly, without punishment. When thoughts come as they will, you don't need to fight them. Just see them, name them, thinking, and then return to your breath. This is the training. You are building the muscle of presence. The Buddha said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." And when you do, life becomes richer, food tastes better, conversations become deeper, and silence becomes nourishing. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to arrive where you already are. That is mindfulness. That is the teaching. As mindfulness deepens, something extraordinary begins to happen. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer rush, you notice. And you no longer judge your thoughts. You become their observer. This shift is subtle, but it is everything. The Buddha compared the mind to a lake. When the waters are disturbed, we can't see clearly. But when they are still, calm, and quiet, we can see to the bottom. We begin to understand ourselves and others without confusion. In mindfulness, there is no good or bad thought. There is only awareness, a gentle seeing, a compassionate witnessing. And with that, healing begins. Pain does not disappear overnight, but it loses its grip. Anger still visits, but it doesn't stay long. Fear arises, but you no longer shrink beneath it, because you are learning to remain centered. This is the power of mindfulness. It gives you space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your freedom. You are no longer a puppet pulled by emotions. You are the stillness that watches it all. And from that stillness, love begins to grow. Mindfulness leads to something even deeper. Insight. When you become aware of your present moment again and again, a quiet wisdom begins to bloom. You start to see patterns, how craving leads to suffering, how resistance leads to pain, and how acceptance brings peace. You realize that much of your suffering is not from what happens, but from how you relate to what happens. The Buddha called this dukkha, the dissatisfaction that arises from clinging, from wanting things to be different than they are. And mindfulness is the light that exposes it. It is not about indifference, it's about intimacy, seeing life so clearly that even its imperfections shine. You see the sadness in someone's eyes, and your heart opens instead of closing. You feel your own grief, and you sit with it like an old friend. This is real strength, not numbing yourself, but allowing yourself to feel everything fully, with courage and compassion. This is the heart of mindfulness, not escape, but deep presence. The Buddha never promised an easy life, but he offered a path through the difficulties, a way to walk through suffering instead of around it. And mindfulness is the first step on that path. It brings clarity to confusion, patience to anger, and light to our darkest corners. You may notice with time that your relationships begin to shift. When you listen mindfully, people feel seen. When you speak mindfully, your words carry more kindness, more truth. When you move mindfully, your actions become sacred. This practice ripples out. A mindful person can be a healing presence in a room of chaos. They do not need to preach. They radiate peace. And it all begins with noticing, with breathing, with being present. So if you've ever wondered where to start, the answer is simple. Start here. Start now. Start with you. Even after years of mindfulness, you will still get distracted, still feel anger, still forget. That's okay. The goal is not perfection. The goal is remembrance. Each time you drift, you simply return, like the tide returning to shore. No shame, no guilt, just coming home. The Buddha smiled, not because he had no pain, but because he had found peace within the pain. And that is available to you too. This one teaching, mindfulness, is not a quick fix. It is a quiet revolution. You may still face storms, but mindfulness teaches you to anchor. You may still fall, but it teaches you how to rise, gently and without self-hatred. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll find that you've changed. Not because you became someone new, but because you remembered who you truly are. Present, aware, alive. So now, take a deep breath with me. Inhale and feel this moment. Exhale and let go of the rest. You've just walked through a teaching that has transformed millions of lives. And if you carry it in your heart, if you practice even one mindful breath a day, it will begin to transform yours too. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more presence. It needs people who are awake, people like you. Let this be your reminder. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are here, and that is enough. If this teaching touched something within you, please consider supporting this journey. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing wisdom. Until next time, may you walk gently, may you see clearly, and may you live mindfully.